everybody and welcome back to A Royal Reader. My name is Bambi and let's just address the elephant in the room. Yes, I did cut my hair. I now have a bob and I really like it. Okay, now that we have addressed that, I'm going to be talking about the books that I read in the month of May. But before I get into that, I do just want to quickly say something that I feel like I need to talk about and I need to address on my channel. Even though I don't have a very large following, I would still like to talk about it. And that is the Black Lives Matter movement that is happening all across the globe, but prominently started in America with the killing of George Floyd. I strongly believe in this movement. As an Indigenous woman myself from Australia, I really support the movement that everybody is trying to push. If you guys do not know about the Black society and the oppression that they have been facing for centuries, please do yourself a favor and go and educate yourself. Use Google. It is there as a reason for research. Do yourself a favor. Go onto Google, research it. Don't go and ask your Black friends. They are not there to educate you on their history of oppression, okay? If you are financially able to, I will be leaving a bunch of links where you can donate to help get people who are being arrested at these protests, and you can help bail them out. There's also money going towards some of the families that have been affected by these unjust deaths. And if you aren't financially able, there's going to be petitions that you can sign down in the description box. So please go ahead and do just a small thing that will lead to a really big thing. I honestly think that if everybody puts in just a little bit of their time, we can see a really big difference. So yes, I just thought that I would say that and just say something because I felt like I needed to. As a person of colour from Australia, I understand the oppressions that have been happening to Black people all over the world. My grandmother doesn't know where she's from because she was stolen from her family at a young age and put with a white family. So I don't really know where I come from or where my heritage comes from, apart from the fact that I am simply Indigenous Australian. That's all I know. So please do yourself a favor, do everybody a favor, and just sign the petitions, donate some money if you can, spread the word, educate yourself, read books about racism, read books about the white fragility that is happening right now. Just please do something, please. With that being said, let's get into the books that I read for the month of May, which was not a lot. Also, I'm using a new color for my ring light and I don't know if I like it or not. So let me know down below if you like it. Starting off with the first book that I actually finished in the month of May. I did go into the month of May with Crescent City and I did finish Crescent City, but that was not the book that I finished to start with. The book that I finished to start with was in fact Aurora Burning by J. Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. This is the second book in the Aurora Cycle series. Whew. This book made me cry so dang much. I read this in one day and I was not okay afterwards because it hurt so bad. Basically, if you are not aware of the Aurora Cycle series, it follows a group of ragtag teenagers and alien humanoids as they travel through the universe doing basically their academies good. They're kind of like they're space force, I guess you could say. So like Star Trek, they're like, you know, go on diplomatic missions and stuff like that. And our main character Aurora ends up stowing away on their ship for their very first mission, and things go a little bit crazy when they realize that there is a government after them because they want Aurora, and it's just really, really confusing and really, really crazy, and they don't know what's happening, and it just goes on from there. Obviously, I can't tell you too much about this book because it does follow along literally directly after what happens in the end of the first book, so just know that it was very, very sad all throughout the book, and I cried a lot, and yes, I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. I did not give it a 5 stars because of what happened at the end. If you read the book, you will know what I mean. Yes. So the next book that I finished was actually part of a 24-hour reading challenge that I was trying to do that I am 99% sure I have deleted the footage of. So, yeah, that's great. If I haven't, I will definitely be editing it and uploading it, but basically I decided to try and challenge myself to read the entire Selection series by Kira Cass in 24 hours. I did fail, but I also didn't in my mind. So I read the first 3 books, which is obviously the Selection, the Elite, and the One. Those are the first 3 of the basically main trilogy, and the other 2 that were released are continuation on of the series that I don't technically classify as part of the series. So that's why I say I technically failed it, because I didn't read the entire Selection series, but I also did originally read the 3 originals that came out. So I read these from the library, which is why I don't have a copy, which is why you were seeing pictures of it on screen. And I was very, very surprised when I went into this because 1, it is a dystopian, and 2, it is a romance based off like The Bachelor, which I don't like whatsoever. So I was very surprised when I ended up giving the first book a 3 stars, the second book 4 stars, and the third book 4 stars. So yes. In the Selection series, we follow our main character, America Singer, as she is one of the 35 or 37 chosen girls across the world to travel to the palace and go through just a series of conversations that are televised very much like the Hunger Games in the capital, where they, you know, film everything, and in order to try and win the heart of the prince and marry him. So in this dystopian world, there are different castes, I think is how you pronounce the word, and starting off at the very top with the number 1s is obviously royalty, and then it goes on from down there, obviously ending with, I think is number 9, where they are literally the homeless people who have no jobs and they have no money and they live out on the streets. America, I believe, is a 7 or a 5, I can't remember too much, and they are kind of like the artists. She and her mother are both singers, and her father is a painter. So that describes that, and she is one of the only like 5s that are picked out of the entire country, and she goes, and she's obviously, you know, not the prettiest girl in the group, and she's, you know, not the smartest and not the prettiest and blah 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 blah. So yes, regardless of that, I actually did really enjoy this series. I was quite surprised that I enjoyed it. I had a good time. There was definitely moments where I was like rolling my eyes at the obvious teenage drama that was happening, but it still made for a fun read, and I suggest if you haven't read it, do yourself a favor and pick it up, because it's actually fun. Like, yeah. So yes, I do not know if I have that footage or not. I would check my laptop. I've been too scared to check it because I don't want to know that I actually have deleted it. But yes, and the reason why I didn't want to continue reading the 4th and 5th book in the series is basically, if you know the series, you know what it follows, and I just didn't want to reread the same book I've just read. So yes, I read those first 3 and really enjoyed it, surprisingly, although I did not and will not be picking up the rest of the series, and I don't think I will be picking up the latest book that Kira Cass has written, which is The Betrothed. So, moving on to the last book that I read in the month of May. Did I only read 4 books? No, I read 5. And that is, in fact, Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas, House of Earth and Blood. I finished it. I did film my reaction to the last like 200 pages. That will be featured in the reading vlog. Sarah J. Maas knows how to tear my heart out. She really, really does. And boy, did she rip it out good. So, I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars just because it didn't feel like a 5-star to me. It was just sort of like on the on the brim, I would say. I'd say it sits at like an easy 4.5 out of 5. There were just bits of it that were kind of slow, and some bits that were kind of like confusing. So I did leave it at a 4 out of 5. Now I do want to say, although this is meant to be like targeted as a adult, I think it is an adult fantasy. I don't know if it's adult or if it's new adult, but this definitely 100% reads like A Court of Mist and Fury. I have not read A Court of Rings and Ruin, so I don't know how much more adult it gets within the series, but A Court of Mist and Fury was a very big jump from Court of Thorns and Roses. So this book definitely reminded me of that within like the tone of everything. Not to say that the characters reminded me of anybody. They are all definitely their own new characters. I think it was just the tone of how Sarah J. Maas was writing it and things like that. But yes, it is definitely an adult book, though. I would say, because there's lots of swearing. There's lots of sex mentioned, not so much sex involved as such. I think there's only about 2 or 3 sex scenes. So yes, and there's also drugs involved. So if you do not know what this book is about, we follow our main character Bryce Quinlan as she is roped into reinvestigating the death of her best friend and her best friend's pack of werewolves as they start to uncover some murders that are happening in a very similar way that her best friend was murdered. So she gets put with big old handsome sexy brooding angel Hunt Alethard, and he's basically charged with like being her bodyguard because he's like the big bad demon killer and best of the best type of person. So we follow them as they try to reinvestigate what happened and how it happened and why it happened and who did it, and they start to uncover a lot more secrets than they realized, and it starts to involve a lot more people, and it starts to get very, very dangerous. So I really enjoyed this. Oh boy, did it take a turn. There was bits of it where it did start to slow down a little bit, but then just when I was starting to get on that room of like, can we start having conversations about how sexy he is, please? And then all of a sudden there'd be like a plot twist, and I'm like, oh my god. So I read the last 200 pages within like 2 hours. I was completely enraptured. I could not put it down. I cried so much. I had no tissues. My shirt was just covered in snot. That's probably TMI, but if you follow me on Twitter and Instagram, which you should if you don't, I posted a picture of myself after I finished reading this, and boy, does it make Kim K's crying face to shame. Just want to say that. So, those are the 5 books that I read in the month of May. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I do apologize for having been gone for so long. Work has just been crazy, and life has just been crazy, so I have not had a chance to film in the afternoons and things like that, which is why I'm now filming this, you know, quite late. But anyway, I do hope to try and catch up on filming and things like that, and just getting my shit together, basically. I've had to start doing a certificate in order to keep my job at work, so that's taken up quite a bit of my time, as my boss wants me to get most of it done as quick as I can. So yes, I have not had a lot of time to film and have not had a lot of time to read. But I am hoping that's going to change because I'm almost finished my current read, going to finish that tonight, and then yes. Yes, I do hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know what your thoughts and feelings down below in the comments. Please go ahead and check out those links in the description box. Let me know what you guys read in the month of May. Let me know if you read a new favorite book, which is what I did. And yeah, if you want to see more of me and see when I complain about books and stuff, go ahead and check out my Twitter and Instagram. Links will be in the description box, so please go ahead and check those out and follow me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys later on.